thinking differently about how we approach security in the cloud, and that applies to us as security professionals, to regulators, to the government, and ultimately more transparency. You know, our regulators and our shareholders expect us to be very transparent about our operations, and it's going to be a real challenge for cloud providers until they can provide similar transparency for us going forward.
So, thank you. So let's look now at from the security vendors. So what are the challenges and opportunities facing the security vendors? So, in fact, the security vendors have three major hurdles to overcome. One, it has to retool its technologies so that technology could be applicable to the cloud, which in itself is not something easy to do. The second thing is that it has also to change its business model. The customers of tomorrow will not be anymore the enterprise, but will be more the cloud computing vendor themselves or the enterprises which are building private clouds. And finally, the existing security vendors will also have to change totally its distribution channels, because once you build something in the cloud is the distribution channel itself. And in fact, dislocating today all of your traditional added value resellers, etc., which today have less and less and less added value to do, as the cloud or the internet can deliver to you extremely sophisticated application right into your browser, no matter where you live. So let's hear from one of your pioneers in security, the CEO of Trend, Eva Chen.
If we say the IT technology is like the invention of pen and paper, cloud computing is like the invention of printing technology. It will enable mass amount of new knowledge, creation and sharing with much more efficient way of using the processing power and storage. But just like printing technology, without proper copy protection, cannot fully benefit human beings. The cloud computing's power cannot be fully realized with proper new security practice for the shared storage and shared infrastructure. It is a very exciting yet challenging time for all the security specialists and security vendors. At Trend Micro, we believe we should create security that fits into today and tomorrow's threat landscape, infrastructure change, customer environment, and also, most importantly, the new ecosystem in IT industry.
So, of course, now let's look at the cloud computer vendor itself. So, of course, for us, cloud computing vendors, it's absolutely paramount that we provide reliability, availability, and that we essentially secure our good caretakers, as used to say, of the data of our customers. After all, this is not our data that we manage or store, it's the data of our customers. So we have to essentially put a very big effort to build the security into the infrastructure, as well as auditing that the security that we've put in place is the proper security. And as Grady told us very well, there is one thing that I believe cloud computing vendors are not doing as well as we should, is to be significantly more transparent. In other words, allowing corporations, which in fact are essentially outsourcing, if you prefer, their data or the care of their data to us, in return for all of these advantages that cloud computing provides you, that we became significantly more transparent. Now, I'm a firm believer that those who do not do that will not survive. Today, there is something very unique with cloud computing, is because of the internet bubble. Very few cloud computing companies, which started, like most of us, in 1999, disappeared. Because it's only the company who had, as I call, Rich Daddy, Salesforce.com with Larry Ellison, NetSuite with Larry Ellison, Qualys with my own money, that could continue to survive and continue building the dream. But guess what? Today there is many cloud computing solutions coming out of the gates. And one of the very unique things about cloud computing is that once you select a cloud computing vendor, you are much less dependent of that cloud computing vendor is like renting a car at Avis. You can switch. Obviously, there's always switching costs, but you can switch, which means I believe competition is going to start to be fierce and is going to force the cloud computing vendors to really provide better SLAs and better transparency. So I spoke about the malware, which is becoming... let's hear, in fact, now from the CSO of not quite a cloud computing vendors, but a company which really depends on the cloud, and the CSO from the largest internet game company, Niels Pullman.
Cloud computing has been a buzzword for the last 2 years, and what we have really seen in the last 6 to 8 months is companies, specifically executives around the world, businesses, embracing it. Embracing it because it enables, like no other technology before, the agility and the reach and the flexibility that modern companies need today. The Cloud Security Alliance came together because we wanted to help with that. We wanted to embrace a new technology, actually a new way to utilize and consume a new technology. And we did so because we understand, and it's important for us, we care that embracing a new technology is done so with security and privacy in mind. At Zynga, we are touching over 200 million people around the world. We deliver fun entertainment. For us, cloud computing is an enabler. Without it, it would be pretty hard to do. So we see this as a crucial part to our business. We have obviously an interest to make this secure, to have privacy of our users in mind, and we work with vendors to do so, and to push them to do more and better, to think about security controls, because in the end, it helps all of us, our customers, the vendor, and us. I believe that security in the future will become more complex, and our industry will feel this complexity. Cloud computing will accelerate Darwinism in our industry. The ones that adjust and adopt new technologies, help make them better, more secure, will thrive. The ones that refuse will simply go away. We have to think about security as a complex structure in the future, about users, people, what they do, where they go, how they do it, and who they connect with. Unless we truly think about this complexity, I don't think we really get ahead, and that's exactly what our industry needs. Working together, making things better, more secure for everyone, and getting ahead.
Thank you, Neil. So we spoke in the beginning of malware becoming pandemic, and the Aurora event has teach us kind of a very humbling lessons, then realizing that hundreds of companies, had been compromised. So let's hear from one of the founder of a forensic company, ISEC Partners, and someone who really spent a lot of time to try to look and analyze that entire Aurora phenomena. Alex Stamos.
Recent state-sponsored hacker attacks have demonstrated to many businesses that they need to defend themselves at a much higher level than they expected. Many commentators have said that this is the Achilles heel of cloud computing. I don't think that's true, but it is true that cloud computing introduces new interesting attack surfaces. A number of the technologies upon which cloud computing is based, such as virtualization and distributed file systems, are generally untested, and we don't totally understand the implications of using them in a cloud computing environment. That being said, cloud computing is an excellent opportunity for your enterprise to rebuild its IT systems from the ground up with security and trustworthiness in mind. This is especially true of incident response. When revamping your incident response plan, make sure to contact your vendor and that you'll be able to access the metadata, access logs, and audit logs, just as you would on your own IT infrastructure. Overall, cloud computing is an opportunity, but we do need to think about how to have new security controls in this new environment.
So in fact, thank you, Alex. And in fact, earlier I spoke about the very strong participation of our government.